till one girl's beauty threatened destiny itself.
My daughters, Allah truly molded you with care.
May their beauty never bring them sorrow.
Papa, Ma, let me finish the chores before sunset.
Always pretending to be a village saint. Some of us were born to rule. She did not dance to impress, she danced because it lived in her. Even betrothed men chase her. This must end.
The prince's wife shall be chosen by the gods. All maidens will dance.
That throne is mine.
This is an insult.
But the prince is betrothed to my sister.
Yes, but not anymore. The gods wants to choose a queen from the maidens. I want her.
She took everything. Then she must disappear. In Umwoke village, beauty was a blessing, until one girl's beauty threatened destiny itself.
My daughters, Allah truly molded you with care.
May their beauty never bring them sorrow.
Papa, Ma, let me finish the chores before sunset.
Always pretending to be a village saint. Some of us were born to rule. She did not dance to impress, she danced because it lived in her. Even betrothed men chase her. This must end.
The prince's wife shall be chosen by the gods. All maidens will dance.
That throne is mine.
This is an insult.
But the prince is betrothed to my sister.
Yes, but not anymore. The gods wants to choose a queen from the maidens.
Why did you do that, my daughter?
Juliet always believed she was the finest girl in the whole village. She walked like the road belonged to her, talked like everyone was below her, and behaved like her beauty could buy her a seat in heaven. But one hot afternoon, her life changed because of one thing she never expected: a fart. It started when an old woman stopped her on the road and politely asked for a little money for food. Instead of answering with kindness, Juliet rolled her eyes, hissed loudly, insulted her, and proudly released a long, disrespectful fart right in front of the old woman. She even smiled as if she had done something special. But Juliet didn't know that this single fart would follow her, chase her, embarrass her, and teach her the biggest lesson of her life. Because the old woman she disrespected was no ordinary old woman, and Juliet's pride was about to meet its match. Juliet walked down the road like a queen returning from a fashion show. Her hips were swinging, her handbag was shaking, and her face was full of pride. She believed the whole world was watching her beauty shine under the hot sun. Then she saw the old woman standing by the side of the road, holding her stomach gently like she was hungry. The old woman raised her hand and called softly, "My daughter, please help me with a little money for food." Juliet stopped, looked at her from head to toe, and smirked. She didn't feel pity, she felt annoyance. She moved closer, rolled her eyes, and said, "Old woman, leave my front. I am not your bank." The old woman kept her calm and spoke again. "My child, if you don't have, just say you don't have. It is not good to insult people." Instead of walking away, Juliet stepped right in front of her, lifted her chin proudly, and released a loud, confident fart that echoed down the quiet road. She even opened her eyes wide, like she was proud of the sound. "Take that one," Juliet said proudly. "Since you like asking, take this one as your gift." The old woman sighed, disappointed. She simply shook her head slowly and said, "My daughter, it is not good to do that in public. It is not good to disrespect older people." Juliet hissed, flicked her fingers and said, "Old woman, that is none of your business. If you don't like it, shift." She turned around and walked away confidently, her shoulder high like nothing happened. But before she could take 10 steps, her stomach twisted sharply. She stopped and held her waist. She thought it was small gas. Nothing serious. She moved again, and immediately a loud fart burst out of her like a drum in a village festival. Juliet froze. "No way," she whispered. She tried to walk faster. Another fart escaped. She squeezed her stomach tight. Another one followed. Every step came with one. She turned around and saw the old woman still standing calmly in the same place. Juliet marched back, angry and confused, pointing at her stomach as if the old woman could see inside it. "You! What did you do to me?" Juliet shouted. "Stop it now." The old woman looked at her with tired but wise eyes and said, "My daughter, you insulted me. You mocked me. You used your body to shame me. Now your body is teaching you the lesson you refused to learn." Juliet shook her head fast. "No, this thing cannot follow me. I am a chief's daughter. Make it stop." Her stomach twisted again, and she bent forward slightly as another loud one escaped. Tears filled Juliet's eyes. She couldn't believe her beauty and pride now meant nothing. She felt embarrassed even though nobody else was there. The old woman spoke gently. "Until you learn respect, your body will remind you. Every time you speak with pride, you will hear the sound. Every time you insult someone, you will feel the pain." Juliet covered her face with her hands. "Please, I will do anything. I don't want this shame. Help me." The old woman nodded slowly. "Then you must change. Not with your mouth, but with your heart. Pride made you insult me. Humility will set you free." Juliet looked down, her voice shaking. I will change. Please tell me what to do." The old woman lifted her hand and pointed at Juliet's chest. "You must learn respect, not because you fear shame, but because it is the right thing. Beauty fades, pride destroys, but respect lifts a person higher than money or looks." She paused, looked deeply into Juliet's eyes and added, "And my daughter, you will suffer a little before you learn your lesson." Before Juliet could speak, before she could even breathe properly, the old woman's body began to fade like smoke. Juliet gasped. She blinked once, twice, and in the next second the old woman was gone. Completely gone. No footsteps, no shadow, no sound, nothing. Juliet stood alone on the road, shaking. Her stomach tightened again, and a loud fart escaped her without warning. She placed her hands on her face and cried loudly. The shame, the fear, the confusion, everything hit her at once. She ran home, crying as she ran, holding her stomach with one hand. When she reached the compound, her father was sitting on a wooden chair outside, resting after a long day. The moment he saw Juliet crying, he stood up sharply. "My beautiful daughter, what happened? Who touched you? Why are you crying like this?" Juliet fell on her knees in front of him, still crying. "Papa, something happened on the road. Papa, the old woman I insulted. She said things. She vanished, Papa, she vanished in front of me." Her father frowned but pulled her up gently. "Calm down, Juliet. You are shaking. Tell me slowly." Juliet wiped her face and explained everything. Her father listened quietly. When Juliet finished, he burst into loud laughter. "Juliet, my princess, you are worrying yourself for nothing. That old woman is making mouth because she is hungry and frustrated. She is not powerful. She is just talking nonsense." Juliet sniffed. "Papa, but she vanished." Her father waved his hand. "You probably closed your eyes because you were crying. Maybe she walked away quickly. My daughter, stop shaking. That old woman cannot do anything to you. Nothing will happen. Forget her." Juliet looked up at her father, hoping he was right, hoping the old woman's words would disappear like she did. But just as she opened her mouth to speak, Her stomach twisted sharply and another loud fart escaped her. Juliet covered her face in shame. Her father blinked fast, surprised, then said, "Ah, maybe you just need to rest. Eat something. You will be fine." The next morning, Juliet woke up early, dressed in her finest clothes, and stepped outside with her usual pride. She convinced herself that everything was normal and that yesterday was just a strange dream. So she walked majestically on the road again, raising her shoulders like the whole world was watching her beauty. As she moved, two young men walked past her. They were simple village boys, not rich, not powerful. When they saw Juliet, they smiled politely and greeted her. "Good morning, Juliet," one of them said respectfully. "Yes, good morning," the second added quickly. Instead of answering kindly, Juliet stopped, turned sharply, and looked at them with anger as if they had just insulted her. "How dare you talk to me?" Juliet shouted. "You poor boys, who sent you to greet me? Did I tell you I wanted your greeting? Do you know who I am?" The two men exchanged confused looks. "Juliet, it's just greeting," one said calmly. "Nothing harmful." But Juliet's pride stood taller than a mountain. "Shut up," she snapped. "The next time you see me, don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't even breathe near me. I don't need your greeting." The two men were shocked. "Juliet, why are you angry?" the other asked. "We only greeted—" Before he finished, Juliet opened her mouth to insult them again, but her stomach twisted suddenly, like a rope being squeezed. She tried to hold it in. She failed. A powerful, loud, unbelievable fart blasted out of her like thunder in the afternoon sky. The sound bounced off the houses, birds flew away, even the dust paused. For 3 seconds, nobody moved. Then the two men exploded into laughter, not small laughter, big laughter. They were slapping their thighs, holding their stomachs, bending over, almost falling on the ground. "Juliet," one shouted between laughs, "is this your greeting for us?" "Oh my God," the other cried, laughing even harder. "So this is what rich people give as reply now?" Juliet stood there frozen, her face red like fire. She wanted the ground to swallow her. She felt tears burning her eyes. She didn't wait another second. She turned and ran home again, crying loudly as her sandals slapped the road. When she reached home, she didn't go to her father this time. She went straight to her mother's hut, ran inside, and fell on her mother's bed crying like a baby. Her mother sat up in shock. "Juliet, what is it again? Why are you crying like the world is ending?" Juliet wiped her face and said, "Mama, something happened. Something is following me." "What is following you?" her mother asked. Juliet took a deep breath and started explaining everything. What happened yesterday on the road, how she insulted the old woman, how she farted on her, how the woman warned her, how she vanished, how her father ignored it, and how today she farted again in front of two boys who laughed at her until she ran home. When she finished talking, her mother kept quiet for a moment. Then she shook her head slowly. "Juliet," she said, "I have told you many times to change this your dirty character. It will not lead you anywhere. You insult people too much. You talk as if others are beneath you. And your father is always siding you, spoiling you, telling you that you are right even when you are wrong. Now look at your predicament." Juliet's tears flowed faster. "Mama, please help me. I don't want to be like this." Her mother raised her hand and said, "Don't involve me in this mess. I warned you. I told you respect is important. But you refused to listen. I cannot save you from the consequences of your own pride." Juliet sniffed. "Mama, please don't talk like that." Her mother stood up, wrapped her wrapper properly and said, "Go and meet your father. He is always on your side. He is the one who keeps encouraging your bad behavior. Let him fix what he started." Juliet looked down, wiping her face gently. Her stomach rumbled again, warning her silently. Her mother added, "If you want this thing to end, you better start respecting people. That old woman did not just talk for fun. Something is teaching you a lesson, and until you learn it, you will continue to suffer." Juliet cried softly. She wanted to argue, but she didn't trust her stomach. She remembered what happened on the road, and fear covered her heart. Juliet walked slowly toward the main compound where her father usually sat. She didn't want to go, but her mother's words kept ringing in her ears. "Go and meet your father. He is always on your side." When she reached the compound, she saw her father sitting under the big mango tree with one of his close friends, Chief Adamu. Her father saw her first and smiled proudly. "Ah, my beautiful daughter, come, 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 let my friend see the queen of this house." Juliet forced a smile, but her eyes were still red from crying. Chief Adamu looked at her carefully. He knew Juliet's reputation for pride, but he still greeted her kindly. "My daughter, you look worried. What is the matter?" Juliet opened her mouth to answer, but before she could speak, her stomach twisted again. She froze and held her breath, praying silently that nothing would happen. Her father noticed. "Juliet, what is wrong? Why are you holding your stomach like that?" Juliet shook her head gently and said, "Papa, something is wrong with me. I came to tell you." Her stomach gave another painful twist. Juliet squeezed her legs together and tried to continue talking. "Papa, the old woman, she—" A loud, powerful fart exploded out of her like a talking drum in a festival. Her father gasped. Chief Adamu's mouth fell open. For a full second, nobody blinked. Then Chief Adamu whispered, "My God." Her father whispered, "Juliet." Juliet's face turned red instantly. She shook her head quickly. "Papa, it's not me. It's not me. It's something following me." But before she could defend herself, another one escaped. Chief Adamu covered his nose and tried not to laugh, but a small laugh still escaped him. Her father looked confused, embarrassed, and shocked all at the same time. "Juliet," he shouted in disbelief. "Why? How? What is happening to you?" Juliet waved her hands helplessly. "Papa, I told you. Yesterday I insulted an old woman, and I farted on her. And she said I will learn a lesson, and then she vanished." Chief Adamu stood up immediately. "Vanished? As in disappeared?" "Yes," Juliet cried. "She disappeared. And now this thing keeps happening. Papa, help me." But right when she said help me, another loud one blasted out, longer than the others. Chief Adamu couldn't hold it anymore. He burst into loud laughter and slapped his knee. "Ah, this is serious punishment. Even thunder is not this loud." Her father tried to stay serious, but his eyes were wide with embarrassment. He loved Juliet too much to laugh at her, but he also couldn't deny what he just heard. "Juliet," her father said slowly, This is not normal." "I know, Papa," Juliet shouted. "That is why I'm scared." Chief Adamu stepped away to get fresh air. "My friend," he said to Juliet's father, "this is beyond ordinary. If she insulted the wrong person, then this is spiritual lesson." Juliet started crying again. Her tears fell straight to the ground. "Papa, I told you. You didn't believe me yesterday." Her father swallowed hard. He didn't know what to say. Yesterday he had brushed it off, thinking it was nothing. But today, right in front of his friend, his precious daughter had embarrassed herself loudly. Too loudly to ignore. Juliet felt her cheeks burn. She couldn't stay there one more second. Her heart felt heavy with shame. Without another word, she turned and ran away again, covering her face as she cried. Chief Adamu watched her run and said softly, "My friend, this girl's pride is catching up with her. If she doesn't learn fast, this thing will disgrace her everywhere." Her father didn't argue. He only sighed deeply, finally realizing this problem was real. Meanwhile, Juliet ran inside her room and locked the door, pressing her back against it, breathing fast, shaking from shame. She whispered to herself, "I cannot live like this." That evening the whole compound was quiet, but Juliet's father could not rest. He walked up and down the sitting room, rubbing his head, thinking about everything that happened earlier. His pride was wounded, his heart was heavy, and for the first time he was truly afraid for his daughter. He finally gathered courage and went into the inner room, where his wife was sitting on the bed. She looked calm, but her eyes were sharp. She knew trouble was coming even before he spoke. "My wife," he began softly, "we need to find a solution for Juliet. This thing is serious. I saw it with my own eyes today. She cannot walk like this. People will laugh at her. Her life will be ruined. We need to help our daughter." His wife looked at him. "Help who?" she asked. "You and your precious spoiled daughter. Please don't involve me." Her husband frowned. "What do you mean, don't involve you? This is our daughter." She shook her head and stood up. "I told you long ago that Juliet talks too much. I told you she insults people anyhow. She behaves like she owns the whole world. What did you do? You pampered her. You defended her. You told her she is your angel. That one can talk to her anyhow. You said your money will cover her mistakes. Now look at where your over-pampering has brought her. The same mouth she used to insult people is now bringing shame to this family. Juliet's father opened his mouth to speak, but she continued with full anger. You think I have forgotten how many times I complained? Every time someone in the village reported Juliet's rude behavior, I begged you to talk to her. But what did you say? Leave my daughter alone. She is perfect. Nobody should touch her. Now see the result. She insulted the wrong person. She paced the room, shaking her head. If Juliet had respected people, this would never have happened. But no, she behaves like she is queen of the whole world. And you, her father, encouraged it. You made her believe she is untouchable. Now she is crying all over the place, and you want me to fix it? Juliet's father's voice hardened. She is our only child. How can you talk like this? You should stand with me. We should stand together. His wife folded her arms. Stand together in what? In trouble that you created? My husband, let me tell you the truth. I warned you. I begged you. I told you to teach this girl kindness and respect. You refused. Now you want to drag me into the mess. No, I did not spoil her. You did. He stepped closer. So you are washing your hands from this matter. Is that what a mother should do? What kind of woman are you? This is your child too. She raised her chin proudly. I am a mother who warned you before this storm came. I am a mother who told you she was going too far. You refused to listen. So don't call me a bad mother because I won't pretend for you. You trained her with pride. Now face the results. Juliet's father's hands began to shake slightly out of anger. How can you talk like this when our daughter is suffering? She is suffering because she refused to listen to anyone. The mother replied sharply. She insulted an old woman on the road. Who does that? Even small children know better. Juliet thought she was above correction. Now correction has found her. He paced the room, breathing heavily. We have to do something. We cannot allow our daughter to be disgraced like this. His wife sat down firmly. Then go and find the solution. You are the one who created the problem. You are the one she listens to. You are the one she runs to for support. Go and fix your daughter. Juliet's father stared at her in disbelief. So you won't help? She looked him straight in the eyes. I will help when she drops her pride. Until then, go and use your my daughter can do no wrong training to fix what is happening to her. Her words hit him like a heavy stone. He looked away, his chest rising and falling. He wanted to shout again, but he knew deep inside she was right. He spoiled Juliet. He encouraged her pride. He ignored the warnings. Now Juliet was suffering, and the whole burden was on him. Outside the room, Juliet sat quietly near the window, hugging her knees. She heard everything her parents said. Every word stabbed her heart. She never imagined she would be the cause of such a fight between her mother and father. She didn't know whether to cry more, run away, or hide forever. The next morning, Juliet's father woke up very early and went straight to look for a native doctor. He was desperate, embarrassed, and tired of the shame following his daughter. After asking around quietly, he finally found an old native doctor sitting outside a small mud shrine, grinding herbs. Juliet's father explained everything from beginning to end. The insults, the old woman, the vanishing, the loud farts, the shame, everything. The native doctor listened with a very serious face, nodding slowly like a wise man who had seen many strange things in life. When Juliet's father finished talking, the native doctor grunted softly and said, This matter is heavy. You see, when a child plays with fire, the fire does not pity the child. This girl has angered a spirit of respect. Juliet's father begged him, please, find a solution. She is suffering. The native doctor reached into a small calabash, brought out a brown, oily charm. Tell your daughter to rub this on her head before she sleeps tonight. By morning, the problem will disappear. But tell her, she must behave well. Juliet's father grabbed the charm with hope in his heart and rushed home. That night, Juliet rubbed the charm on her head the way she was instructed. She prayed silently that the nightmare would end. She slept, believing the next day would be her victory day. Morning came. Juliet woke up, dressed in her best clothes, and stepped outside proudly. She walked on the street like her usual self, swinging her shoulders, believing she was finally free. As she walked, she saw Amara, a quiet village girl who had always admired Juliet's beauty and confidence. Amara smiled politely and greeted her. "Good morning, Juliet." Juliet stopped immediately, frowned deeply, and snapped. "What is it? What is your problem? Poor people will not let somebody rest in this village." Amara was surprised but still gentle. "I'm sorry, Juliet, I only greeted you. I actually wanted to be your friend." Juliet burst into loud laughter. "You? Be my friend?" She pointed at Amara's clothes and mocked her. "Look at you. You are too poor, too local, too dirty." "You? My friend? How dare you? Don't you know who my father is?" Amara's face dropped, and she whispered, "I didn't mean to offend you. Please take it easy." Juliet became angry again. "Take it easy? With who? You daughter of a palm wine tapper wants to roll with me. Never. I roll with big city girls, not village champions like you." Amara looked down, hurt. "I'm sorry," Juliet hissed loudly. "Sorry for yourself." Before Amara could move, Juliet raised her hand and slapped her hard on the cheek. Amara held her face, shocked, tears forming in her eyes. Juliet smirked proudly, ready to insult her again. Suddenly, Juliet's stomach twisted sharply. Her eyes widened in fear. Then another bomb. The farts came back stronger, louder and faster than before. Amara, who was just crying from the slap, suddenly burst into uncontrollable laughter. She laughed so loudly she almost fell on the ground. She wiped her tears and shouted, "Juliet, so you slapped me with your hand and now your backside is slapping you back." She laughed even harder. "This life is funny." Juliet's face turned bright red. She tried to run, but as she ran, the farts followed her like marching drums. People on the street started peeping from their doors. Juliet covered her face with both hands and sprinted home, farting all the way like a leaking motorcycle. She burst into the compound, crying, "Papa, Papa, it has happened again. What kind of life is this? I cannot even walk in peace." Her father rushed to her. "Calm down, Juliet." "I will not calm down," Juliet shouted. "That native doctor lied. Nothing happened. The thing is still following me." Without waiting, she marched straight back to the native doctor's shrine. She reached the shrine, entered without greeting, and shouted, "You old fake man. Your charm did not work. You are useless. Fraud." The native doctor looked up slowly, his face hardened. "Ah, so this is the girl." He shook his head. "No wonder the spirits are flogging you like market thief. Your mouth is sharper than blade." Juliet stomped her foot angrily. "Shut up. You told my father the charm will work. Nothing worked. Are you even a real native doctor?" The native doctor stood up. "Listen, girl, a proud person is like a cracked pot. You can pour blessings inside, but everything will leak out. Until you learn respect, your body will not stop disgracing you." Juliet pointed at him angrily. "You are fake native doctor. You don't know anything." He didn't even get angry. He simply said, "My child, you can insult me from now till night. It will not change your situation. Even husbands run from women with your character. Respect is like water. If you don't have it, you cannot quench anyone's thirst, not even your own." Juliet hissed loudly and stormed out, still fuming. "All of you are useless." The native doctor watched her leave and shook his head slowly. The wind does not stop blowing because a tree refuses to bend. The news of Juliet's embarrassing problem spread around the village faster than Harmattan fire. People talked quietly at first, but by afternoon, gossip had become the main topic in every corner. Juliet did not know that her name was dancing from mouth to mouth. Two villagers, a young man and a young woman, stood near the market square discussing loudly. They didn't even hide their conversation. The man shook his head and said, "My sister, can you imagine this disgrace that is following Juliet around? Ah, this thing is too much. To think I almost broke up with my girlfriend because of that girl. I was crushing on her. A whole me." The girl beside him opened her mouth wide. "You? Crushing on Juliet? For what?" The man sighed dramatically. "I don't know what entered my head that time. Beauty nearly blinded me. But now, she wants to use fart to kill all of us in this village. Every corner she passes, pert, 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 like faulty generator." They both burst into laughter. The girl wiped her eyes and said, "My brother, leave that matter." Do you know I was even praying to be like her before? I wanted her beauty, her confidence, her clothes, everything. I used to admire how she walked, as if the whole world belonged to her. The man nodded. Yes, now. She used to behave like Princess of Africa. The girl leaned closer and lowered her voice a little. But let me tell you something. That girl is wicked. One day I begged her to teach me makeup, just simple makeup, so I could.
She was the most beautiful girl in the village, but her beauty became her curse. One night of pleasure turned her world into pain, and what she lost could never be replaced. This is the story of Chisholm, the girl whose beauty brought her to the edge of destruction. In the small, quiet village of Umokoro, there lived a girl whose beauty made even married men forget their vows. Her name was Chisholm, and people often whispered that she was born from the moon itself, too beautiful for a poor girl. Her skin glowed like ripe palm fruit in the sun, and her smile could make even the angriest man weak. But behind that beauty was a life that many pitied, and many others feared. Chisholm's parents were poor farmers. Her father, Papa Chaik, was old and tired, and her mother, Mama Chaik, sold firewood just to feed them.
We won't let you tax us like animals.
These are the laws of the crown. Comply.
We are not your subjects.
If they find out I'm helping you, they'll call me a traitor.
I don't need you to be a hero, just stand with me.
I only fear losing you.
No more taxes. No more fear. No more. Let them hear the voices of their mothers.
Your woman leads the riot. Choose wisely, boy. I serve this office, but I belong to my people. Then your fate is sealed.
They tried to silence us, and they failed.
You led them. You changed everything.
The fight has just begun. We won't let you tax us like animals.
These are the laws of the crown. Comply.
We are not your subjects.
If they find out I'm helping you, they'll call me a traitor.
I don't need you to be a hero, just stand with me.
I only fear losing you.
No more taxes. No more fear. No more. Let them hear the voices of their mothers.
Your woman leads the riot. Choose wisely, boy. I serve this office, but I belong to my people. Then your fate is sealed.
They tried to silence us, and they failed.
You led them. You changed everything.
The fight has just begun. We won't let you tax us like animals.
These are the laws of the crown. Comply.
We are not your subjects.
If they find out I'm helping you, they'll call me a traitor.
Every time they say you are beautiful, am I ugly? How dare you try to become the village beauty?
Grab your popcorn. Let me tell you how the story began. Once upon a time, in a small village called Ami, everyone knew the family of Mr. and Mrs. Adeyemi. They were respected people, blessed with 2 daughters. The first daughter was Fola, tall, fair, and very beautiful. Her voice was soft like early morning bird song. Whenever she sang, people stopped to listen. Men admired her, women praised her, and elders always used her as an example of beauty and grace. The second daughter was Sia, younger and quieter. As a child, Sia had been playful and pretty too, but fate changed her life forever. One afternoon, when she was still very small, a terrible accident happened in their kitchen. Hot oil poured on her face, leaving deep scars that never healed properly. From that day, people no longer looked at Sia with admiration. Instead, they looked away or stared with pity. As the girls grew older, the difference between them became very clear. Fola became more confident, but that confidence slowly turned into pride. Everywhere she went, people reminded her how beautiful she was. Men brought gifts, clothes, jewelry, and food just to see her smile. Fola enjoyed the attention too much. She began to believe that beauty was everything. Sia, on the other hand, became invisible in her own home. Visitors came and her parents would quickly tell her, "Sia, go inside." When guests stayed for long, she stayed hidden. Sometimes she listened from behind the door as people praised Fola and pretended Sia did not exist. Each time, her heart broke a little more. Even though they were sisters, Fola stopped walking with Sia. If Sia tried to follow her outside, Fola would hiss at her and say, "Stay back, don't embarrass me." Sia understood why, and it hurt deeply. She cried many nights, pressing her face into her pillow so no one would hear her sobs. Many times she begged God because she felt unwanted and ashamed of her own reflection. At home, Sia worked like a servant. She fetched water, went to the market, gathered firewood, and ran errands from morning till night. Her parents hardly sent Fola anywhere. "She's too delicate," they would say. Sia accepted her life quietly. With time, she learned how to be alone without complaining. One early morning, Sia was sent to fetch water from the village stream. The sun was just rising and the road was calm. On her way back, she saw an old woman sitting by the roadside. The woman looked weak and tired, with a big pot of water beside her. Sia greeted her politely and walked past. But after a few steps, her heart would not allow her to continue. She turned back. "Mama, let me help you," Sia said gently.
The old woman looked at her with surprise and gratitude. Sia hid her own bucket of water behind a tree and lifted the woman's heavy pot onto her head. The woman thanked her again and asked her to follow her home. They walked slowly, deeper into the forest.
Every time they say you are beautiful, am I ugly? How dare you try to become the village beauty?
Grab your popcorn. Let me tell you how the story began. Once upon a time, in a small village called Ami, everyone knew the family of Mr. and Mrs. Adeyemi. They were respected people, blessed with 2 daughters. The first daughter was Fola, tall, fair, and very beautiful. Her voice was soft like early morning bird song. Whenever she sang, people stopped to listen. Men admired her, women praised her, and elders always used her as an example of beauty and grace. The second daughter was Sia, younger and quieter. As a child, Sia had been playful and pretty too, but fate changed her life forever. One afternoon, when she was still very small, a terrible accident happened in their kitchen. Hot oil poured on her face, leaving deep scars that never healed properly. From that day, people no longer looked at Sia with admiration. Instead, they looked away or stared with pity. As the girls grew older, the difference between them became very clear. Fola became more confident, but that confidence slowly turned into pride. Everywhere she went, people reminded her how beautiful she was. Men brought gifts, clothes, jewelry, and food just to see her smile. Fola enjoyed the attention too much. She began to believe that beauty was everything. Sia, on the other hand, became invisible in her own home. Visitors came and her parents would quickly tell her, "Sia, go inside." When guests stayed for long, she stayed hidden. Sometimes she listened from behind the door as people praised Fola and pretended Sia did not exist. Each time, her heart broke a little more. Even though they were sisters, Fola stopped walking with Sia. If Sia tried to follow her outside, Fola would hiss at her and say, "Stay back, don't embarrass me." Sia understood why, and it hurt deeply. She cried many nights, pressing her face into her pillow so no one would hear her sobs. Many times she begged God because she felt unwanted and ashamed of her own reflection. At home, Sia worked like a servant. She fetched water, went to the market, gathered firewood, and ran errands from morning till night. Her parents hardly sent Fola anywhere. She's too delicate, they would say. Sia accepted her life quietly. With time, she learned how to be alone without complaining. One early morning, Sia was sent to fetch water from the village stream. The sun was just rising and the road was calm. On her way back, she saw an old woman sitting by the roadside. The woman looked weak and tired, with a big pot of water beside her. Sia greeted her politely and walked past, but after a few steps, her heart would not allow her to continue. She turned back. "Mama, let me help you," Sia said gently.
The old woman looked at her with surprise and gratitude. Sia hid her own bucket of water behind a tree and lifted the woman's heavy pot onto her head. The woman thanked her again and asked her to follow her home. They walked slowly, deeper into the forest.
Every time they say you are beautiful, am I ugly? How dare you try to become the village beauty?
Grab your popcorn. Let me tell you how the story began. Once upon a time, in a small village called Ami, everyone knew the family of Mr. and Mrs. Adeyemi. They were respected people, blessed with 2 daughters. The first daughter was Fola, tall, fair, and very beautiful. Her voice was soft like early morning bird song. Whenever she sang, people stopped to listen. Men admired her, women praised her, and elders always used her as an example of beauty and grace. The second daughter was Sia, younger and quieter. As a child, Sia had been playful and pretty too, but fate changed her life forever. One afternoon, when she was still very small, a terrible accident happened in their kitchen. Hot oil poured on her face, leaving deep scars that never healed properly. From that day, people no longer looked at Sia with admiration. Instead, they looked away or stared with pity. As the girls grew older, the difference between them became very clear. Fola became more confident, but that confidence slowly turned into pride. Everywhere she went, people reminded her how beautiful she was. Men brought gifts, clothes, jewelry, and food just to see her smile. Fola enjoyed the attention too much. She began to believe that beauty was everything. Sia, on the other hand, became invisible in her own home. Visitors came and her parents would quickly tell her, "Sia, go inside." When guests stayed for long, she stayed hidden. Sometimes she listened from behind the door as people praised Fola and pretended Sia did not exist. Each time, her heart broke a little more. Even though they were sisters, Fola stopped working with Sia. If Sia tried to follow her outside, Fola would hiss at her and say, "Stay back, don't embarrass me." Sia understood why, and it hurt.